First, he grabbed the slowest moving pieces and arranged them into an infinite set of hierarchies. He placed smaller and faster pieces around larger and slower pieces and kept on arranging. He called this the physical universe, and to keep it stable, he established a rich and strict set of physical laws. Just as there were the large and the small, there were the physics of the large and the physics of the small. Through these laws, physical matter would move in predictable ways and could only change from one thing to another in reproducible ways. At the same time, God arranged the fastest pieces into infinite hierarchies, fit them with their own set of laws, and called them the metaphysical universe. Since these pieces had more awareness and energy, he established laws governing their ways of creating and thus slowed down their evolution. Each level could see the levels below it, but not the ones above, and the communication between levels was limited. And thus God divided all that is into two major parts, the seen and the unseen, the physical and the metaphysical. But it was where the two met that he did his finest sewing. In the middle, he created the chosen ones, for they were a special mix of the higher and the lower, combined in a perfect way. God called them man, and like the lowest pieces, they would know themselves as physical and be subject to the laws of physics. But as with the higher pieces, they could also come to know themselves as spirit and learn to use the metaphysical laws of creation to their will. They could experience through their physical, yet evolve through their metaphysical. For each of the pieces in the middle, God assigned an entire hierarchy of physical pieces, which he called a body. For the most part, this body could take care of itself, but it did need resources. While it knew how to maintain its own health, it was easily influenced. In keeping with his infinite hierarchies, these bodies would also serve as the cells of yet a larger body. This body was to be called Earth. To the bodies of man, he then assigned a number from the spirit side to satisfy various roles. Some were permanently assigned as long as the body existed, while others offered guidance and could move from person to person. To the body of Earth, he assigned a most special spirit, one he called Gaia. Because so many of the spirit pieces wanted to play the role of man, God created a scheme where a spirit piece could become a man only to return to being a spirit piece later. Of course, the spirit could come back as many times as it liked, but while being a man was subject to the rules of man and would therefore oscillate between levels of knowing and not knowing. To the spirit pieces that supported man, God first stated how man didn't know who he really was and could not be told explicitly. He explained that man could only be approached based on his own beliefs. No matter the efforts exhibited, man will only see and hear to the degree he believes. The non-believers thus had to be assisted in the most circuitous of ways. However, spirit was encouraged to communicate and assist in all moments so that man at any time could open up to see what would be there all along. Next, God explained the three realms with which man could create his own reality. In the first realm, man could create utilizing all of the resources of the physical universe. He could grow, build, borrow, or trade to get all that he needs and wants. He could learn the laws of the physical universe and extract higher vibrations of energy stored in lower forms and convert one form to another. And he can learn to use the natural forces and cycles of the universe, given their predictability and infinite supply. In the second realm, man would create much like spirit does, through his thoughts. Thoughts are simply non-physical vibrations that man can create in every moment that flow out into the universe. Each one has a whole bandwidth of frequencies attracting like to like. Pure thoughts of fear would create more fear, and pure thoughts of love would create more love. But the majority of thoughts would contain both fear and love, thus creating a mix of the two. Unlike with spirit, man would be subject to the linearity as dictated by physical time. Because of this, his thoughts would take time to manifest into experience or physical form. But as man raises his own vibration, even this will begin to hold him back less. In the third realm, man would require no will to create. Here, man merely needs the intention of love to create love, a love that is more than he could imagine. But for this form of creation to exist, man must let go completely. He must let go of the forms he seeks and the fears that keep him from accepting that which is given. He must let go of the need to create something specific and trust that all he desires will find its way to him. Before finishing, and in saving the best for last, God revealed his most precious of laws and most profound of promises. He called his final law the perfection of the universe. This law stated that in each and every moment, with each and every event, each and every being would be given an experience that was the result of his own creation, flowing out from the reservoir of his thoughts and beliefs, intentions and emotions, and his complete history. And his final promise was simply this, that no matter what happened along the way, each and every piece of all that is would one day return, for in reality they were never really separate to begin with. And thus, on the seventh day, God got to sit back, relax, and watch.